Now that we've gone through our errors, it's time for us to look at our warnings. So let's come over here to issues and let's jump down to warnings. So let's take a look. So we got 1,000 outgoing links, internal links that contain no follow attribute. So that means links from one page to another within the website. And let's take a look and see. Generally speaking, we want internal links because you want your, for example, your Invisalign page to link to your whitening page, or your whitening page to say, hey, we're going to whiten before we do underline Invisalign. Or, hey, do you want crowns? We have regular crowns. We have ceramic crowns. Click here to link to ceramic crowns. That's internal linking. So let's just take a look at these. And it looks like what these are doing, see, we have a share widget in here at the bottom of these pages so that when someone sees it, they can click share. And what's happening is share to your email, etc., etc. And it looks like these are coming up as links with no follows because the link is going internally. And yeah, these are no follows because they're going to your email, like his email account or the person's email account who is going to be doing that. So let us take a look here. Just jump ahead and see if they're basically all the same. Share is email. Yeah, so it looks like every page on this website, which again, there's nothing wrong with having shares. So let's just keep looking. Again, share email. What I will do is obviously I'm not just going to eyeball this at the end, but I will download this as a spreadsheet and take a look and do a search. And what I will do in Excel is I will basically eliminate anything that has this trailing area of share equals email and see if there's anything left over. Because I certainly don't want to, if we do have a page in there that says, for example, implants, and it links to implant dentures, I certainly want the internal implant denture link to give some credit back, obviously, to our implant page or vice versa. So let's go back to see what's next. Too much text within the title tag. That we know. We talked about that in errors. That will fix. Uncompressed JavaScript and CSS. This usually happens when we haven't done any kind of caching plugin. For us, we use W3TC. Let's take a look. Again, it might be something. Yeah, here we go. So userways widget, which we use for accessibility, it looks like it's what's throwing the error. And so uncompressed JavaScript. Well, of course, we don't control that, so we can't check that. What we are looking for is website level JavaScript or CSS that's not compressed. You do want that compressed. So once again, I will generate an Excel spreadsheet just to make sure that these are all widget.js. Obviously, I don't want to miss one. You'll note that when we go over our site audit, we are going to look at page speed as well manually. It's part of our manual site audit. So we'd pick this up anyway, but I just want to be sure here. And I will generate, again, an Excel spreadsheet to check that. Low text to HTML ratio. Let's see which ones. Probably category pages. Let's see. Okay, well, these are, let's take a look and let's check out the ratio. So these are old blog posts. And the truth is, if they're really old blog posts, I'm not going to get upset about them. What this really is a concern about is that, well, here's before after picture. So you're not, obviously, on those pages, you are not going to have a high text to, you're going to have more HTML than you have text. So here, for example, though, they are not liking this because, let's take a look at this page together. Part of design requires a lot of HTML. And, we want to minimize it for page speed, but this is a fine page. And for whatever reason, this program is not happy. SEMRush is not happy because it doesn't like the ratio. Is that going to hurt us for SEO? Very unlikely. So when we come back here, again, I will take a look at these a little bit more. Basically, the service pages, I'm much less concerned about the blog pages. But if there are service pages in Excel, I can make a filter just to make sure. What this is trying to tell us is, hey, listen, this is looking for a page that has a ton of HTML, which basically means it has no real actual content. It means it's just a page that says, hi. That would be a text that has a very low text to HTML ratio. And that is what it's flagging for us. And this is one of these great examples of a judgment call. So again, I will look at the service pages and see, because certainly we want content. But if there are other issues like this, just blog posts, I will, we're going to ignore those. And what we'll do is, we don't like one, for example, like this we don't need, we can go into here to the audit and hide it so it doesn't affect us. And this is one of the reasons we have 345 fails here. So you can see that's one of the reasons why the site audit, I think, started at 63, 64, something like that %. And I said not to worry about it, and this is exactly why. Meta descriptions. This is neither here nor there. You can sit and make your own meta descriptions for every page, which you could, mean, for main service pages, for the home page, for the about page, it can't hurt you. But if you've got blog posts, and we have here hundreds of them, going back and making meta descriptions isn't really going to help us. What meta descriptions can help you do is increase the click-through rate. But here, having a meta description on what's looking to be blog posts here, these are the category pages. And again, we talked about category pages, whether to include them or not. I do not worry about meta descriptions on category pages. So I will come back later and I will highlight these 187 pages when I'm sure they're okay to remove and get rid of them, because I don't need to see them in the audit and hurting our score, because they don't really matter. Okay, external links. Let's take a look. 24 external links are broken. So what this means is these are links to other people. And what we're going to see is, for example, water fluoridation. And there's a link to a website here, which clearly is not, we're getting a 406. So we're not really getting where we need to be going here. These links don't work. So what I will do is I will export this list and show Chip and say, hey, are these still links? Because, for example, Gumbrand might have changed, the URL for their starter kit. Now, what Gumbrand should have done is they should have put a redirect. So, but again, that's, we're not doing their SEO, so that's for them to deal with. 22 links on HTTPS pages lead to HTTP pages. This is important because what's happening is there are either old pages that are linking back probably to before we had HTTPS. And so these are just things that we have to clean up. That's pretty straightforward. We can just go into these posts, edit it, and change it, and that shouldn't be a problem. 4 pages use Flash. So these are old blog posts. Oh, we have migraine therapy here. So what this is sometimes when you embed videos from YouTube, or in the old days, we used to use Flash, and we migrated this site over when we did that. So we might still have Flash left in here. And if that's the case, we'll just see where that video is hosted, most likely on YouTube, and we will do the proper YouTube embed for HTML5 and not Flash, and we'll take care of those. One page couldn't be crawled. Let's see why. I don't know why that couldn't be crawled. It is a blog post from 2010. Probably not a big deal, but let's take a look and see. The page couldn't be crawled. All right, so they're incoming. So whatever reason, we do have links on the website that are linking to this page. So what I will do is I will talk to Chip and say, what is going on with this page? And do we need this? Is this relevant at all? And if it is, we'll dig it back up, we'll recreate it, or figure it out. We have archives saved. And then we'll take a look at these links and go ahead and remove this link from these pages. Warnings, 3 uncompressed pages. Let's take a look and see. This is usually an issue that we'll get to when we look at our page speed. Why these 3 are showing up, it's a really good question. So let's take a look and see, is there a problem with the page? Page links to itself. And why is this page coming up as an issue? Interesting. So that's something I'll have to look into, why it's coming up as uncompressed. Why did we just have 3? I'm going to have to look and see what is unique about these 3 as opposed to the rest of the site that it's not compressed. So we'll take a look. And we'll see. Maybe there's something in the content encoding. Okay, so that's something else we'll take a look at, because when we compress a site, we do it as a site as a whole, not separate compression per page. So obviously we'll go back and we'll look and see why that is. And let's see, 2 pages don't have an H1. That we have to fix. So we don't have an H1 heading on this page. It's a home page, which is big. We have to fix that, which is why we do an audit. Now over here, the trailing slash and the non-slash, that's the same page. So I believe we have a redirect here. If we don't, I will make sure that we do have a redirect, because either you're going to have your website with trailing slashes or not with trailing slashes. There's no one right way to do it, but you do have to have it consistent, and we will double check that. And our last warning is 1 page with a low word count, which is what we said before, the privacy policy. And I think we had an issue. It's 199 words. So again, I don't really care about that. If our privacy policy is 199 words, that's okay. If this were our implants page, I'd be more concerned that it's not enough text. This is actually something that we can hide. We can ignore it because I don't need to. It's the privacy policy. It's no more, no less. So that finishes up with warnings. And what we're going to do next is, now that this is done, I'm going to go back and do the spreadsheets like I mentioned and fix all those things. If you have questions about that, please post them in the group, and I will certainly answer them specifically. And then what we'll do in our next video is we'll head to notices and we'll look and see what these notices are.